There comes a time in every video game system's life when people start referring to certain games in its library as hidden gems. You've heard it before, probably in clickbait YouTube titles. Hey, I'm gonna sound very old here because back in my day, hidden gems usually came later, you know? When you get a few generations past, people will look back and realize there were really cool games that they missed and they go back and play and they like them now. But recently, it's become socially acceptable to just call anything a hidden gem. A game comes out, no one talks about it in a day, that's a hidden gem. That said, I found a hidden gem on the Switch 2 already, and it's called Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess, and let me tell you, it's a ton of fun. Thank you, Capcom, for sponsoring this video, by the way. But, hold on, it's not just a hidden gem because it dropped on the eShop for the Switch 2, and not enough people are talking about it. It's a hidden gem because this game actually came out a year ago on every other console, and it was awesome then. In fact, I even remember seeing it get revealed in some sort of E3-like event, and I thought to myself, I should play that when it comes out. That looks interesting. Then I forgot. And I guess that's just the path of a hidden gem, or, in this case, the path of a goddess. So, Kunitsu-Gami is a Japanese-inspired single-player action strategy game. It's kind of both a turn-based strategy and real-time action spliced together. It's extremely unique, and when I was first streaming it on Twitch, one of the first things that occurred to me is just how much fun it is the first time you find a game that you really gel with, that you really like, in a style that you've just never really experienced before, and you get to dive in and flesh out the new mechanics for the first time. And I really love what they've done here. The game is split into two sections. The first section has you creating a path for the goddess from point A to point B, the point B being a shrine that she needs to purify that has demons pouring out of it every night time. And it's on a day and night cycle. So while she's dancing her merry little way too merrily and way too slow. I gotta be honest, she could walk a little faster. I mean, she's literally just prancing. It's 6 p.m. The demons are almost here. Come on! While she's hop, skip, and jumping a merry little way to the shrine, you run around the area purifying it, getting all that demon gunk out of there, but also saving villagers. And once you save a villager, this is where the fun comes in, because you can give that villager a role, a certain lifestyle. To begin with, you have woodcutter. You have a guy with an axe. You can get an archer. You can get a guy that casts a slow spell in an area to slow down anything that comes near him. You start with just one villager type. Then once you've saved all the villagers in an area, you set them up before nightfall. You make sure you have any traps and barriers in place. So you can take your villagers, decide where you want to put them. Like this guy can go right here, and then I'll move my little archer and I'll put him up here so that he can shoot whatever comes that way, and this guy can get whatever comes this way. And you just keep dancing and call for help if you need me. Then you let night come and you fight alongside your guys. You can reposition them as the night goes on if you feel like you have a weakness in your strategy. And it's super rewarding, lining everything up and deciding what types of villagers you need for that battle. The combat's very hack and slashy, with you spamming the trigger buttons to do all kinds of combos. And then on top of that, you can unlock all kinds of special abilities. Like I have this one move that does a giant flame slash, and then I unlock this other move that teleports me back to the goddess if she's in trouble, and I damage everything on the way there and when I get there. It's pretty sick. And you do this on a day and night cycle until the goddess finally reaches the shrine so she can purify it. It's this really awesome blend of the strategy mode where you're planning out everything tower defense style and getting all your pawns into position, and then once everything's in place, activating the combat mode and going to work mowing down all the yokai, or whatever they call demons in this game. Then, assuming you're successful, that area that you just purified becomes a home base, where in between rounds you can task those villagers to help build out certain areas, or you can upgrade yourself for what comes next. And the other part of this game that I was talking about are the big boss battles. These are insane. You take whatever upgrades, whatever villagers you've managed to gather along the way into a giant boss battle where you protect the goddess who's standing in one spot from something like this, or something like that, or my favorite one, this giant night centipede. This fight was so cool. I kept trying to stand right next to the goddess to protect her, but that just made the big old centipede charge right into her and almost knock her out. So I ended up learning that I had to really play away from her while keeping all of my guys near her so they could fend off any of these grubs that fell from the ceiling. And I gotta be honest, you know I like Zelda, and this reminded me of a certain early on Ocarina Zelda fight. And those are the yin and yangs of this game mode, with you doing the tower defense mode and then going into a big boss battle mode. But the game gets increasingly harder as you play, and it pays to go back and redo certain boss battles or areas or challenges because you'll get extra rewards if you do missions for the area, like don't use certain items or finish the level within a certain amount of time or using certain characters. This will allow you to then go in and level up your villagers. Like I gave my archers not only stronger shots, but fire arrows. And then for the next boss fight, I just sicked all 4 of my archers on it, which actually ended up working out really well because it was a flying enemy and I had no idea, but that I just nailed that. And then every time you beat one of those bosses, they drop a mask, and that mask can be used to unlock a new villager type. And there are tons as you progress through the game. This game is so incredibly fun. It was critically acclaimed when it released and still went down as a hidden gem. Not enough people were talking about it, not enough people played it, and now it's on Switch 2 with an enhanced edition. This game utilizes the mouse mode, and I really do love to see these games coming to Switch 2 and utilizing this mode because it just gives players more ways to play, and it's still very bizarre to me to experience this on a home console, and that's why I love that Nintendo included it as a feature, because the first time I played this game was at my PC, which meant I docked my Switch on the monitor I usually play PC games at, and I got the mouse mode where I usually put my mouse on my mouse pad, and I just kind of turned my Switch 2 into a little mini PC for the night. It gave me way more control and freedom in how I played the game. It made me able to whip the camera around and focus on enemies way faster, and then of course, when I was planting my guys and telling them where to go, it had pinpoint mouse accuracy as to where I actually wanted to place them because, you know, I was using a mouse. And for a strategy game like that, that's where this feature in this mode really shines. If you don't like mouse mode, you don't gotta use it. You can just use regular controls, and I was flip-flop bouncing between them because it's just fun to mess around with it. It's also cool if you're using just the Joy-Cons. You can just put it down when you want to use the mouse and then pick it back up if you want to use it as a regular control style. It stands out in the library of current Switch 2 games because it's just something different, something more unique, but more than anything, something actually affordable. Because at $39.99, I feel like this is only not just, as I said, a reasonable price for a game, especially a brand new Switch 2 game that's actually added a feature for the Switch 2, which is mouse controls. I don't want to bring up the rest of the library. I want to keep this focused on the game at hand. But if you actually look at the rest of the launch lineup for Switch 2, this is one of the cheapest games you can get. I'm not gonna name names, and I can't show it, but even that certain game with an island where you might be trying to survive with some friends, that game's $50. $50! I'm pretty sure this is one of the cheapest games you can get right now. I mean, unless you want to, you know, be welcomed into a tour of something. I mean, that's pretty cheap. So, I mean, if you're one of those people that keep saying, oh, the Switch 2 has no games. It's got one game. It's got one game at launch. I urge you to try this one out. I urge you to expand your horizons because the Switch 2 actually has a ton of really unique experiences. So much so that a game like Kunitsu-Gami can actually fly under the radar amongst just the launch titles and be on track to become a hidden gem a second time. I want to get rid of this word hidden. I don't even want it in my title. I want this to become just a gem, and eventually I can redact the hidden part. I'll cross it out in my title. Because this game's unique. It has a ton of replayability with you going back through the levels to complete challenges. It meshes strategy with fast-paced action combat. It even uses the mouse mode. I mean, it has a little bit of everything for a little bit of everybody. Also, if we could get more Switch 2 games sponsoring the channel, that would be great. All I do is talk about Switch 2 and its games. It'd be nice to be paid for it once in a while. So click the link below. If you want to check the game out, click the link below. A huge thank you to Capcom for sponsoring the video. I really do urge you to do it. I know I've been a little goofy and gaffy. I have a lot of fun when I'm on a microphone on a green screen. Did you know I'm on a green screen? Look at this. Now look at this. I did it twice. You didn't see that coming, did you? I get a little goofy when I get like this, but I gotta be honest, this game is critically acclaimed for a reason. I'm not just gassing it up because this is sponsored. I played this on stream already before this video, before this sponsorship. You can go and watch that stream. It's still up. I was having a ton of fun. This game is not at all what I expected when I started playing it. It is far more unique than that. And I love that it engages my brain side with the strategy, but also pleases my hack and slash love, which you guys know I have on the other side. It flip-flops between them and even includes insane boss battles. What else could I want? So check out Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess, links down below. Capcom, thank you so much. I'm working my way through reviewing literally every game that's currently out on Switch 2. So if there's a game you want to see me dive into next just like this, let me know down below. It is midnight and I gotta go to bed. Actually, I'm gonna go play more of this game. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to go play more of this game. Okay, bye.